Yeah, karibu sana. Welcome to my class, SLW600. Habari za asubuhi. Sema zuri.
Zuri.
Yes. Assalamu alaikum, vanakkam, namaskar. These are the different salutation in Indian language. Okay. Now we are continuing our task is case briefing. In the case briefing, and I told you that I will give a full judgment to you, and you have to do write or attempt in P-FIRAC model. And I gave this case law already, and I told you, please do this case law and come to the class. And send to me. That is the case law name is B Hawa Muhammad versus Ali Saif. This is the case law which I have given over there. Suppose if this case law is ready to presume the case law because it is the entire judgment is there. The judgment, of course, is a RTF style or it is a PDF format. It runs into the 32 pages. When it is run to the 32 pages, your whole time goes only in the reading. And hence, I will try to make it out to see that in your examination, it should be 3 pages, both the sides. And hence, you have to see that how you should have to write it. For example, if I take this an example, how to write this one. What is that? First comes procedure. And procedure should be at the which place of the page? At the top left-hand side. Left indentation. We will say indentation. Left indentation and right indentation. What is the another one for the left indentation and the right indentation? Anyone? I told you the tough word. Indentation is a tough word. Indentation means like this, left, and the right indentation like this. Instead of indentation, I can use simple question, margin. Margin, left margin and right margin. Is it clear? And which is makubwa? Left margin is makubwa or right margin is makubwa? Same out. Left makubwa. Why? Huh? Just for comment. The first and foremost is we bind it to the left hand side. And the binding takes its place and which goes inside. Number 1. Number 2, our style of writing is from left to right. Is it clear? Then what is that language which is we can write from the right to left?
Arabic.
Yes? Arabic and Urdu. And what is that language which you can write from top to bottom? If you know it, you tell me. If you don't know it, say pass on. I will give you the answer. I may be wrong, doesn't matter. But to my knowledge, it is Chinese and Japanese. If I'm not mistaken, please check it again. So what I want to say is a left indentation, the procedure, and the P should be capital letter, rest of the other letters should be small letter and doesn't go with any underline or doesn't go with any punctuation. Then chini down, you will say the title of the case law. What is the title of the case law here? B Hawa Muhammad versus, when you write the verses, you don't write the VERSUS versus, that is the old style, the small V full stop, then you write Ali Saif. You need not to write the defendant, appellant, all those things. And always this should be in the small letters and it should be in italics. Sir, how could you write in the exam italics? Change the color of the pen, ink. If you are writing the blue ink, you can make it the black ink enough. You highlighted. But Amna, you wrote it in the black. Again you underline it. Again you make rewriting, make it a bold. Actually, Amna, only change is enough. So, yes, that is right. Then, after comma, continuation is there, comma should come there. And this should be in the italics. Then citation should come. What is the meant by citation? Sema. Nini?
The pin number 9 of 1983.
Yes, I appreciate. Yes. You are wrong because you should not say name of the case. No, name of the case doesn't come on the site. What number? Should year come first? The year come first if it is a reported cases. And the name of the reporter, it comes next. Next, Moisho Nini, reported case. Page number of a reported case. I told you when to use the square bracket, when to use the circular bracket. Anyone can give me the answer. If you don't know, you say pass on. Don't waste my time.
Pass on.
Pass.
Any reporter having volumes in a year, I say volumes in a year, and such reporter should be kept in the square bracket. Like the TLR, Tanzania law reports, it will not be volume, only one volume in a year. Only one volume in a year. Hence, we don't keep the TLR, the Tanzania law reports, in the square bracket. We write in either circular bracket or a round bracket or parenthesis. Is it clear? Is it clear? Say yes.
Yes. Yes.
Only Professor Hussain students will say, I can make an open challenge. You can ask your juniors to whom I did not teach. Okay, let us come to the point. Once it is over, in Bennett, what should be written? Model I have already given. After the title of the case law. What would be the Chini? I gave the model to you, P-FIRAC. Here you are looking me like a boondi. Sir, you told me like looking like a boondi. The judges, one or two or three, whatever it may be there. And the judges' names are appear. And some people write in the parentheses. You need not to write in the parentheses. You can just write it. The judge's name. And next, only 4 lines or 5 lines. I told you that crux of the case law. Or in other words, we can say head note of the case law. The entire case law, if you read it in 4 lines, the gist will be shown. The first sentence is, I told you already. What is the first sentence? Whether it is an appeal case or whether it is the original jurisdiction case. That is the first line. The second line, what is the contention of if it is the appellant or if it is the plaintiff? Of course, in the appeal only the appellant is there. Appellant or in the earlier case, plaintiff contention in the lower court. That is the question of law. And what defense is taken by the defendant or respondent in appeal. Are you following me? And that is called the question of law again. So, 2 question of laws comes. One question of law is the plaintiff or we can say appellant. And another question of law, the defense which is taken by the defendant is or the respondent is the true. Means how many sentences are over? 3 sentences are over. Then what is this court means where this appeal lies? Adjudication held. Whether it is dismissed, whether the plaintiff is liable or defendant is liable or the respondent is liable, anything. That means outcome of the case. Nothing but held. Is it clear? Online people, is it clear? Online people held.
Yes.
Yeah, held, where do you write in the P-FIRAC model? Held, where do you write in the P-FIRAC model? Anyone? Online or offline, doesn't matter. See, conclusion. Held always come under the conclusion. Of course, we write one line there in the application also, but specifically we write in the conclusion. First issue conclusion held in the conclusion. So here what I want to write is 4 lines you have to say. And in this also the case law comes, if you read it, it is a appeal case law. If you happen to read the case law, it is appeal case law. For instance, you say the appellant, see, appeal case law. The appellant means the person who goes to the court, higher court, and he taps the door. Is a Bi Hawa, Muhammad, and Alice were the wife and husband respectively under the dissolution of the marriage by the court, decree of the primary court of Ilala district, Karyako, Dar es Salaam. Najwa Ilala. Tameke. Okay, now it is a Dar es Salaam case. And this is a case, it is an appeal case. So first point is very much clear. This is an appeal case to the Court of Appeal. If I am not mistaken, is it the Court of Appeal? Yes, it's the Court of Appeal of Tanzania, Dar es Salaam. But as a rule is concerned, never underline the heading and subheading. But Hapa, Polesana, these people doesn't know. Underline the heading and subheading. No, it is the universal principle. No underline. No punctuation in the heading and subheading. But they underline at Dar es Salaam, they underline at the quorum. Of course, other places they did not underline. They did not underline. But only these places they underlined it. Okay, what I want to say here is, here Niala CJ, I think the Chief Justice at the time, if I not be mistaken. So that he wrote it. The entire case law goes over there, it is a matrimonial disputes are concerned. What is the contention of the plaintiff? Matrimonial dispute, hence 50% should be my property. Is it not? You read the case law. Just write it in one line. And what is the contention of the husband? No doubt it is a matrimonial property, but your contribution is 0. Because you are a white, don't write white elephant here. It is not a legal language. You are devouring the entire thing, but not making it. But a woman should make from 50 to 100, not 100 to 50. Is it clear? Online people, 50 to 100, the woman should create, not 100 to 50. Nunua nguo, nunua chupi, nunua mdome, rangia, nunua niwele, na mafuta, na nini, na nani, na viatu. Only devouring should not be there. Devouring means kula. Consuming, spending. So the contention of the husband is she divorced a lot of money, and her contribution is, even she did not take care of the children and other things, because I do have my the housemates, and her contribution is 0, and she cannot prove it. Because he has given so much hela. I gave her so much, but she only devoured it, and her contribution is 0. Over. Then what is the decision of the court? She will not be entitled to get whatever the thing she got, it is tosha. Over. Gist is over. Crux is over. 4 lines. Then what should come next? And the procedure part is over. What comes next? I say P-FIRAC model. What comes next?
Issue.
Where what happened to facts? In P-FIRAC, what happened to the facts? I wrote just now gist of the case law, not the facts of the case law. In the facts, you should mention what are the material facts should be there. Yes, so the material fact is they are the wife and husband. Between them there is a dissolution of marriage, and so thing happened over there. And when the matrimonial issues are concerned, they would like to divide it. Hence this case to this court, because the plaintiff filed in the lower courts, and she filed a case in the Court of Appeal of the equal matrimonial property. That much you can write it in your own words, no matter. But when you write it, when you know the entire case law, when you know the entire case law, you write it. So, a quick look. I don't know, in the reading, there are 2 or 3 types of reading is there. In the communication skills for lawyers, I teach in the UDSM, and I'm the course coordinator also. Ordinary reading, ordinary reading. And another reading, no, you skim it. Skimming means reading some part here and skim it, reading part somewhere. And sometimes you skim it, the entire portion. And sometimes what you skip it. Skipping. Not that skipping, road speaking, majoezi. Skipping here means leaving. For instance, you take a sportsman is there in the newspaper, Munanchi or Guardian, where the sports column appears. In the Munanchi or Guardian, where the sports column appears. Sir, we don't read the Gazette. Where it appears? I mean, which page appears? Why you are looking at me? In Monanchi, the sports column, where it appears? Sir, there is no sports column.
Last page.
Always universal truth, back page. Or last but one page. All the sports column appear over there. And editorial appeared in the Katikati. And the breaking news appeared in the front row. What is the breaking news? Political agenda murders. If you see the front column, either murders, means criminal wrongs, or the political issues, it appear in the front column. So that is called skipping. I skip to my page. And some people are very fond of advertisements. So advertisement, there is a separate columns are there. And there is a marriage column also, and matrimonial column. You might have seen matrimonial column. That we need the girl of such a nature, so and so, so. So that is called skipping. So you read it in a short and surfing manner by skimming it and by skipping it, and so that you could know what are the relevant facts would be there you are supposed to write in this case law. And when you read it, always keep it. If it is a fact, you write the F with a pencil. If it is an issue, write I, either in the left hand margin or to the right hand margin. You make a vertical line. Like this, you can make a vertical line and you can write over there. Yes. Now let us come to another point is concerned, how you can make it out. After writing everything, issues, facts you have to keep in the first paragraph. Fact. Don't write the plural form, facts. I told you. Don't write the plural form, facts. Actually, fact is abstract. The abstract doesn't have the plural form generally. We don't use it. Fact, fact. Then the relevant fact you can write in one page. And then comes the issues. But I told you that fact gathering is an art. Facts gathering is an art. Which are the relevant facts you have to make it out. But some of the facts you can ignore it, which are not that much important. But some fact is very important. Like a contract, time is very much important. Because breach of contract comes from the time factor. So in that way, which is important, which is not important, it comes through your own practice. And you can easily shun it out. Shun it out means avoid. You can easily kata. Yeah, this is irrelevant. Is a takataka. And material facts, you have to write it in one paragraph. But generally material facts will not be in moisture. No. Material facts comes in the first paragraph, second paragraph, even not in third paragraph also. In sometimes no, the material fact will be given at one place. Because the court itself says, there is no dispute at all for the material facts of this case law, which are as follows. They give the material facts. Just you can compile it. I don't know whether what he has given here. Here they say he's the wife and husband. And they also said the primary court of Vilala, there they filed a case in subsequent proceeding seeking the division matrimonial estate. The primary court held that the Bibi Hawa-Muhammad was not entitled to share in the matrimonial estate as she used the words of one of the accessor. She was only a mere wife and the house was brought up by the husband with his own money. Can you write all those things? You say she contended that the matrimonial, but her contribution is nil because everything is purchased by the husband. You need not to write everything. Just you read it and you write. And she was only a mere wife and so and so. And Ali Saif to pay a sum of rupees 2,000 as per a parting gift to her in accordance with his religious tenets. Appeal High Court and Kimcha. Of course, Muhammad was further agreed that the decision of the High Court and she obtained the Tanganyika Law Society. And hence, he need not write, she went to the Tanganyika Law Society. No. Hence, the appeal to the court. You can say that you can directly appeal to the High Court. And the High Court certified that the point of law was involved. It can be broadly stated as follows. What the High Court said, did the High Court of the primary court err in the law holding the view that the domestic services of the house don't amount to the contribution? But really speaking, a domestic services definitely will count in the matrimonial assets. Because it is not so easy to taking care of the children. It is not so easy to taking care of the wife. Husband, brothers, sisters, mother, or relatives. And taking care of even a financial matter also. How much to buy, how much not to buy. And what should be eaten, what should not be eaten. How to preserve the money. So, it is really contribution is there if the wife is having a common sense to do or not to do a particular things. So here they say the respondent was the house Mombasa and so and so. Of course, they have given, he is having one house at Mombasa, one house there. You need not to write. He is having several houses in different places. Over. If place is more important, then at the time that you can say the place is more important. Otherwise, you need not to say. So the power of the divided the matrimonial assets is derived from the IAK. Yes, you can make it out. This in point. Whether the matrimonial assets is the equal share would be there. In the issues, you can frame it. Section 114, subsection 1 of the Law of Marriage Act. And there, the matrimonial asset derived from the so-and-so act, whether equal share is there or not, you can raise it in the issues. Of course, in the issues, either you can write the section, yes, you can write the section. But the section should be shown in the rule actually. But we can just write whether she is having half of the right is the matrimonial property according to the law. That is the Law of Marriage Act of 1971. Or if you want to cite it. But always sections and enactments, maxims, decided cases, you have to write under the rule. So you write the issues, you frame the issues. What are the issues are there? Issue is to me, only one issue is there. That is distribution of the matrimonial property. That is only the one issue. Of course, I don't think that she asked for the maintenance again, because already dissolution marriage is over. The maintenance will be paid as a lump sum. They pay in the lump sum. Of course, agreed upon the party, or they will pay in the monthly basis. Till her death, or till she marries second marriage. Up to that extent. Of course, now in India, it is a challenge, because in the personal law is concerned, the maintenance will be given only up to the iddat period. But if any person will file on the common law, CRPC, section which is applicable to each and everybody, yes, the court will say that, yes, you have to pay till her death, the maintenance. Or if you don't want to pay in such a way, lump sum you can also pay. And take it in writing. Suppose if she got married, you need not to pay. Or if she is having the sufficient means, at the time court will say that you have the sufficient means because you are a government employee and your husband is a private employee. Are you following? At that instance, rather you should pay to your husband because he is surviving for the food to mouth. Because children are with the husband. So that is another factor. They will see it. So you write all the sections in the rule and you can frame the issues. I believe only one issue is there, not more than one issue. That is a matrimonial. So now the first important point of the law of consideration is the case is matrimonial assets. See, the same important. Only matrimonial assets whether can be having entered in the 50% share or not. So, of course, the law definitions are given. We need not worry about that one because it is an explanation which is given. And if you want, you can cite in the rule Hallsbury definition about the assets. Are you following me? Because I told you, in the rules what should come? Decided cases should come. Latin terminology should come. Maxim should come. Sections should come of any enactment or books or dictionaries are concerned or any Hansards or the encyclopedia or the Halsbury law reports are concerned, yes, it should be mentioned in the rules. And the court has granting a decree of the divorce or separation when there are matrimonial or family assets which were acquired by the parties during the marriage, and of course when the acquisition of such assets was brought about the joint efforts of the parties, of course he has break benefit. Whatever the assets before marriage, whatever the assets after marriage, and how the contribution of the wife would be there after the marriage. So there is no controversy regarding the existence of the condition, that is the real dispute centers the condition 2, that is on the whether the matrimonial home has acquired by the joint efforts to the apparent or respondent. It is only the one crack of the issue is whether the matrimonial property end after the marriage is equally distributed or not. Is it clear? So that is the only the thing. The wife contention that he refers to performing the domestic duties, and of course you can give in the defense. What is the defense? First question defense. Whether how much that she wants to make it out. And what is the second point where the defendant has made. And there are two schools of thought which currently contend the High Court of the issue. In the case of of course, Zawadi Abdullah versus Ibrahim Didi Darussalam High Court appeal, unreported case, a case is there. Definitely should appear in the rules. And refer the two schools of thought by stating that there are the two maintained under section 114. What do they say? The spouse by way of money or property or work to acquisition of the asset in question and housekeeping and raising the children count for nothing. Merely getting the money is not only the thing. Even taking care of the household activities also contribution to the matrimonial assets. So the school of thought varies over there. Even taking care of it, or washing the clothes, or doing the matrimonial houses, even though there are house servants are there, doesn't matter. To my knowledge, not much has been said in this country, and there is a paucity of the judicial pronouncement on matter. Such a few decisions there are either by happily and not bound by any way. One is financial earning, another is doing the services in the house. Both are same having the financial values. So what they decided, it includes the domestic service rendered by the full-time domestic wife. They would advance the several reasons to back their viewpoint. And they say that it is the philosophy that is the spirit of our time, that it is a quite harmony with the realities and changed social and economic circumstances, that a domestic work may be more difficult and more valuable to the family than the wife who is a self-earning. Even self-earning is a less, because she just go and over there. But maintaining the house is a very difficult task. So it is more tougher than the self-earning. Self-earning means in the form of money. So they say it is more tough than the self-earning of the domestic work, and the husband can hardly conduct his business if his wife does not cook the dinner, mind the children. If the wife does not take the care of the children and the husband, then naturally it is the housemaid who will take care of all the things, because she goes and comes out. Of course, sometimes no, even the husband cannot eat the housemaid food. No, the wife should have to cook, then that fellow will eat. because the housemaid is not that much impeachy. Najwa impeachy. Nini impeachy. Sema Kingreza. Sema Kingreza. Cook. So the wife is very good in PC, and the domestic girl is not that much expert would be there at that instance. Of course, experts comes through the practice. If you don't making it, then you will become a good cook also. Yes, I am a good cook because several years I cooked myself, hence know how to and what extent you have to use the pili. So now next point is here he has given a medical legal journal. Medical legal journal, what they said, it is recognized that the married woman who has brought up the family and maintained the home was thereby actually supporting her husband in his bread and winning activity by releasing. Even if you want, you can cite this medical journal. Provided, again, time factor. Medical journal also there's equal importance to be there because it is also equivalent to the financial earning. What? Domestic services. So you can use that one also there. Then Judge Makame has given Rukia Diwani Konji versus Abdullah Isa Kihenya. Yes, it's another matrimonial case. Yes, you can put in the rule, matrimonial case. And rules we can say which will support it for the section 114. Yes, you can write it there also. Then the school of thought which says that the domestic services of the housewife renders don't count when it comes to the acquisition and therefore the subsequent possible division of matrimonial assets. The true school of thought is there. One is housewife is a nil in the earning. Answer is wrong. Answer is wrong because house service is also equivalent to the earning of the property. Even though they didn't earn in the cash, but they earn in the service. So now the section 114 of the Law of Marriage Act does not really support the school of thought referred to is and view capable of the accommodating a more liberal interpretation. A more liberal interpretation, if you take it, analysis, you can make it in application. There you can say a broader view is taken over there. Yes, a domestic service is also equivalent to the earning. But here in the case law, because she is only devouring things, hence it will not be applicable over there because several times the Saifari has given the money to do the particular thing, but she consumed it or she has given to their own relatives. Of course, if you go through it, the English Memorial Clause, of course, 1973, yes, you need not worry about that one, which is relevant, you have to take it. And then if you scroll down, at the risk of being deemed controversial, no, this is also that not relevant because we cannot write each and everything in your PIFRAC model. Only the gist we can write it, what happened over there. And then we come to the thank to the broader view, they are intrinsically linked with other matters. Yes, now the services are equivalent to, is like earning member in the light of the principle that no one should be allowed to benefit from his own wrong. And again, section 14. Yes, another case law also given. ED Kungunia. How do you pronounce? Kungunia versus Ali Mpete. That HCD, High Court Digest 49. And this case law also, no provision of the Law of Marriage Act was say no terms that throw up a question. So supporting case laws, I found it the 3 case laws, and the 3 case laws should have to appear in the rules. Then I found another case law also, Hamid, of course, this is already the Supra, which is given over there. And what it also says, so each case law, what it says, you should have to support it. For that, suppose if it is not relevant to it, also you can support it. That case law is not relevant over here, you can say. In the both the way, you can say. Yes, in the University of Dar es Salaam, Sir Charles Newbold, then the President of the Court of Appeal, East Africa, put the point in this way. Of course, he has given the view of the other people also. If it is feel that relevant, you can cite it. If not, you need not to cite it. And Ayrton versus Brownlow. Yes, this case law also you can cite it. The passage which has been frequently quoted to approval by the many judges, including the Charles Newbold. And he also cited that case law. And whether to say the services are equivalent to the earning the property or not. At that instance, you can support your view, what it says. And the negative view, you try to avoid it. And the positive view, you can support it. So I apprehend that communo bonarum. Okay, between the husband and wife, communo bonarum, and perhaps with its local corollary community laws and debts. Especially, it would not directly counter to the section 58 and 60 of the Law of Marriage Act, empty those 2 provisions of the meaning effect. Of course, whether these sections also available or not in your case law, you can read it and you can put it over there. If it is not relevant, you need not to keep this 58 and 60 Law of the Marriage Act. Empty those 2 provisions of all meaning effect. So, in this way, you can scroll it and say that any other new point has come to the picture or not. And Act borrows heavily the draft bill prepared by the said commission. Of course, we need not worry about that one. And section 58, 60 and 114 are the respectively exactly the same section of the 66, 68 and 123 of the draft. Of course, similarity would be there, the draft and these sections, the SPRY commission is concerned. Then we can go scroll. I am well aware of the SPRY report. SPRY report could not be treated as authority in any technical sense. No, don't write it because it is not relevant to it. So which is not relevant to it, you don't write it. Which are relevant to it to prove our issues, you have to cite only those cases and to support your view. And when you go further, we can say that we have with the respect to quoted Mapingo J, the length because he appears to deal adequately with the arguments in favor of the opposite view of the High Court, and because we are satisfied that the narrow view is wrong and the broad view is correct, we therefore demonstrate that we mean. Of course, some people say that a negative approach would be there depending upon their brought up and depending upon their school of thought they belong, and they will give the different opinion. That's why we can say it's a dissenting opinion. And some people, those who give the assenting opinion in the majority, that will prevail. Assenting majority will prevail. Is it clear? Yes. And dissenting will be overlooked. Of course, both are good in their own stand. Both are good in their own stand. No can be that you are wrong. No. You cannot say that you are wrong. Because I already gave the example. Right opposite, left. Right opposite,
Left.
wrong. Right opposite, I already told. Sema.
Duties.
Duty. See, online people have given the reply and you are just not given the reply. Do you feel that a person who said right opposite wrong is the wrong? Answer is no. Because he thought in his own perspective, in his own brought up, in his own thinking. But being a law student, you should say right opposite duty, you have to say. Is it clear? And everybody is right in their own stand. Okay, but there is a common sense would be there, a legality would be there, a rationality is there. How do you eat your food? If I ask you such a question, how did you eat your lunch? What it means? How far that you understood? Tell me. How did you eat your lunch today? If I ask you, sir, still lunchtime is not there. Okay, forget about lunch. Breakfast. What did you eat in breakfast? And how did you eat? So how did you eat means, sir, I ate with the spoon. Is it the answer? I ate with the hand. No. That means, how did you eat? What you did you eat in the breakfast means, what items you eat with changanya what? Changanya? Suppose if you have taken the, say, chapati. Chapati changanya? Sir, maji. Why maji? Amna hela. Chaya rangiya, chaya maziwa. Sir, amna hela so chaya rangiya. Hela ipa sambusa. How many? Imbili. How many chapatis? Imbili. And chaya maziwa. Depending upon your capacity, depending upon your digestive system. That is my question of asking. What did you eat in the breakfast and how did you eat in the breakfast? Means what items that I have eaten. That you have to understand it. Don't say that I ate with my spoon. Either you ate with the spoon or hand, everybody knows it. But nobody eats with the leg unless until they don't have the hands. Okay, now my point of saying here is, undoubtedly their provisions are not free from the ambiguity. See, there is the ambiguity would be there. Because I say, how did you eat it? If you strictly speaking, literally view, sir, I ate with my hand. I ate with my spoon. But if you see the background meaning of it, what do you eat on the breakfast? That is actually the thing. So, we should understand in what context that I asked you. So, the example which I have already given you, where you hail from? If I ask you, Rosta, where you hail from? Sir, first you tell me what is hail. H-A-I-L means, hail means where you are from, which place. Where you hail from? Did you born here? Malimbe? You have to give your own birthplace, a district, a area. Say, Iringa. If I ask you where you hail from, you should say Iringa. Is it right? If I ask in Tanzania, if I ask in India, where you hail from? Tanzania, you have to say. Don't say Iringa. Is it clear? So that is what I want to say is, you say better Tanzania, but don't say Iringa, because people doesn't know the Iringa, but people know that Tanzania is a country. So a man will be known by their country, but in the country a man will be known by the region. In the region a man will be known by the place. Is it clear? So that is the contention. So mischief that the Law of Marriage Act 1971 is sought to cure the rectifier that may be described as the traditional explanation here, and such polygamous marriages, they do. Of course, we need not about the polygamous marriages here because one wife is equivalent to 4 now. I repeat, one wife is equivalent to 4 wives because of the cost of living. So the point of law of consideration, decisions in case, and we need not worry about that one also. At last we can say the principle, the guide a court of the determining the shares of the husband and wife in matrimonial or family assets are spelled out in subsection 2 of the section 114, which states that, of course, section he has made it, the court agreed. You need not to reproduce the section. No. You need not to reproduce the section. Write only the section. Is it clear? Yes. And time factor. So you need not to. The record showed that received the money in court. We find no reason to interfere with the payment. But in the finally, what they gave the last, if I see the last paragraph, conduct must be taken into account because the spouse cannot be allowed to fritter away the assets by extravagant living and reckless speculations, and to claim the great share of what is left as he would have been entitled to. He had behaved reasonably. A wife should not to spend lavishly, extraordinarily, for her own sake, for the sake of their families, father and mother. And here she has not behaved reasonably. We are satisfied on this basis also. The appellant is not entitled to claim any share in the available matrimonial property, family assets. The reason is she is more devouring rather than the saving the household property. So, and this leaves only the sum of 3,000 already paid and received according to the religious custom and parties, and bearing in the mind that she is a legal aid case and see no reason other apparent pay cost. When the legal aid will come now, when you could not have the money to defend yourself, you can ask for the legal aid committee. The legal service authority is there everywhere in the world, and the legal service authority will appoint a junior, and junior will work on behalf of you, and it will be paid by the government. Legal service authority, they do a separate fund. Each party therefore to bear her own caste. Here is the legal service authority. They made it so that's why they said no, we don't pay it. Each party should have to pay their own accord. So dated Dar es Salaam 29th November 1983, there is Niali Chief Justice and Makame Justice of Appeal, and these are the two benches. Two judges have given their judgment in this case law. But overall, one thing is very much clear. A wife's services also equivalent to the services rendered as if an employee. Hence, the services of the wife would be considered as a same amount of a matrimonial property. Even services are also considered. When services are also considered as a matrimonial property, then 50-50 share should be there. Is it clear? But the combined property I am saying, not before the marriage. So, but in this case law, no doubt it is true, but she extravagantly, lavishly spent the money. I told you already that a housewife should try to make from 50 to 100, not 100 to 50. So that quality she lacks over there, and she's a lavish lady, and she doesn't know the value of the money because the money comes free and people doesn't know. If the money you earn it with the jasho, najwa jasho, sema kingreza, the money which comes with the jasho, say kingreza jasho. Sweat. A money which comes with the sweat, that is a halali. That money comes in the takrima. What is takrima? Either you say gift or a corruption or a bribe or under table money. You know, under table money. Extra money will be paid to do the work. The money which comes without sweat and goes in that same manner, because that is not halali. Najwa halali. That means what you earn with your own sweat, with your own consciousness, and that amount is halali amount. And hence, a person who is halali, and for him, no disease will touch him. No disease will touch him because he does the sweat and he works hard and his body will become strong. Is it clear? Do you think that a laborer who is working and digging over there, he will get any disease? Hapana. Because he daily works and sweats and eats and digests and immunity is more. What is more? Sema? What is more? Just now I told you. Immunity. Spelling? Immunity spelling? I-M-M-U-N-I-T-Y. What it means by immunity? Resistance power. In the body, the reflexive system would be there and the body will produce it and kill the foreign body. And that is the called immunity is more. For the person who is having the immunity more, even no mafua, no kifua, no homa, generally will not touch him. Because he is strong enough in the body. But mafua and kifua at least should come once in a year. If not, your nose is not functioning well. If it doesn't come. So naturally here malaria is a common disease. More people will die in the malaria. Happen in Tanzania rather than the HIV and AIDS. Because it's a pandemic, malaria. If you don't get the malaria in the span of 9 years, 10 years means something wrong in your body. And hence in the span of 11 years, one time I got malaria when I was working in the UDSM. A person who suffered such a thing, definitely will feel it, what is right and what is wrong. Yes, so body system will work over there and hence it is a master. So here also given the Martin versus Martin All England report. When you write the Martin versus Martin All England report, you are supposed to write not in the circular bracket, you have to write in the square bracket. Because All Indian report is always in the volumes. That is the reason it is written 3 All England report. Yes, that is the thing, but anytime it will stop because the time is 10:05, but still I did not get the indication. But a person is standing outside, you ask him what you want. Because anyway, if he wants this room, I can give him within no time. If once my Cisco best stops over there. So the reading is very much important factor, how much that you read it and how much you digest it, and you need not to digest it, but you can write it the margin, which are the issues, which are the conclusion, which are the facts, and you can just write with your pencil mark. Pencils, you can mark it so that you can compile them at one place and you write them in a systematic manner. So that is called case briefing. When a judgment is given to you, then outlining a case and briefing a case, it is an art. Once you started briefing it, and the thing becomes very easy to you, and to know what is the gist of the case. When the matter comes to the argument is concerned, and a person who did it, he will make such an argument, even a judge can be bewildered. He may be stuka, because you did such a groundwork. That is the reason, whenever in the corporate schools or corporate colleges, if you work, you know what subject you are going to teach. First and foremost, you have to develop a book, a manual, then you have to teach it. When you develop a manual, you know from where you extracted and how much you have put it over there, because there should not be cut and paste. There should not be copy and paste. And hence, you rewrite it. Otherwise, it leads to the plagiarism. When you are writing an article, some universities will allow 20% plagiarism allowed. Of course, authentic plagiarism is Turnitin. In some other universities, they say 10%. Only 10% allowed. I don't know, once I told you, I sent you the 0% of my article. Did you see it?
Yes.
But why you are saying after he is saying yes, first and foremost you have to say yes. Sir, I did not understand your question. I sent my article, zero plagiarism, Nimestruka. Even myself also surprised. Because once I prepared, it is a 19%, turn it in. But they say we don't allow it. Because they checked their own plagiarism and they say 16% is there. And again I worked hard, I wrote in my own words, then I checked again with my plagiarism, turn it in, which is a reliable plagiarism, that is 7%. So I was thinking that 7% would be there. I don't know what their plagiarism will say. Then when I received the email, sir, here is a 0%. Even myself also, I don't know. Because in my plagiarism, there is 7% was there, but here there is 0%. Perhaps I think I changed the entire structure of the plagiarism. No one can, because I read the entire paragraph, I wrote in my own words, using my own language, using my own jargons. And that language, we cannot trace it out any other book. Like the way of teaching which I did now, you cannot find it the way I teach. I not only taught you the syllabus, what is there, but in addition to that, I taught something more. What I taught something more today? Sema? Today class, what I taught something more, which you did not have the knowledge. Case briefing is the subject. What is the new thing I taught in the class today? Of course, I taught in the earlier also. Square bracket, circular bracket, round bracket, when you have to keep to the ear. Is it clear? And in addition to that, what I taught new thing? Indentation, margin, left hand margin, right hand margin. Is it clear?
Yes.
In addition to the subject, you lose many things if you don't attend my class. Sir, how many times you say, sir? I say because I do like that work. What is the necessity to come today, Saturday, to teach to you? What is the necessity? Because my conscience will not allow me. If I teach a little thing, they say, over. No. If I may be here or may not be there, people should remember me. Even today, the people, those who heard me in the University of Dar es Salaam, they remember me. Sir, your way of teaching is so excellent. Now we are become Gangari because you come, you ask, Njo, Kahapa, Jikola Umeme, 270 kilo kV on the dash and give the presentation. I asked the students to present in the class. I give them already the assignment to them. Yes, these are the things you have to present tomorrow class. Because that is the cases which are relevant to us. And once they presented it, no, they never forget in their life. If you touch them and ask them in the night also, they can give the entire case law. Because they worked in such a manner and directly went into the brain. Sir, your Kichinjio was helpful to us. Now we are arguing the case in the court of law without any fear. So the teaching style, not only the writing, you should have to pronounce also in a better manner. And that counts a lot. And a lawyer, sir, I don't want to become a lawyer, sir, because I want to get some increment. That's why I'm doing the law. Rosta, what is the benefit if you do the LLM? Sir, I'll get the increment, I get the promotion. Say, I get more knowledge. I can use this knowledge in my practical life in writing the judgments, and language also polished, and the legal terminology could be used in a proper way, and the English also in a good grammatical way. Without having the knowledge of the English language or grammar, you can write and construct the sentences without knowledge. But you are following the grammar rules. But if you know the grammar rules are concerned, if you are having the vocabulary and mostly the legal terminology, at that instance, we can create a miracles. Not only in the expression, but also in writing. Because your legal drafting also will be seen over there. Of course, not that much of the grammatical mistakes. Okay, consider. Sometimes they can use the language they want to use it. But sometimes it is not very much suitable to use such a language. A particular language should be used over there when you are drafting a particular drafting, especially legal terminology should be used. And what is the legal terminology that you have studied in your legal methods in the first year, first semester? One of the beautiful examples which I have given when I was teaching to the legal methods in the various other places. In the plain English, you can say that I give you this orange. I give you this orange. That is the plain English. But the legal English is concerned, it has given us so much. I am giving this pulp, I am giving this skin the wholeheartedly to you. You can eat it, you can scratch it, you can pimp it, you can gift it, you can scrap it. I do have the every right, you do have the every right to do so, but I do, once I have given, I lose all my rights and so. He has given a good passage is there. That is the legal English. Instead of saying that I give you your orange and whatever you want, you can do it. But here they say the legal terminology. You can use the pimp, you can use the carpels, you can use the juice, you can squeeze it, you can grind it, you can peel it. There are many other wording they are used. You need not to say, once you are given, it is not your property. So a man will behave the way that he wants to make. If I give the orange, what do you do? Sir, I will give sadaqah. Say. If I give you orange, what do you do? A simple question. Anyway, if I give you an orange, what do you do? Give me the answer. The first and foremost, you say thanks. Is it or not? Later on, if you are a babu or if you are a father, instead of eating, you give to your children. My Molibu has given the orange as a zawadi, but I did not eat it. I would like to give you. Then you feel more satisfaction than what you are eating. Am I right? Why? Who told you? Who told you to do so? That is the love and affection towards the children. Sir, if the childs are not there, you give to your wife. Am I right? You give to your wife. But not giving to your wife, you give to the jirani. Suppose at the time your wife is not there, she went to her mother place. And he doesn't want to eat, he wants to donate it to somebody else. Either the children of the neighbor have come, it might be given to the children. Or sometimes if the beggar has come to beg it, sir, I did not have anything to eat it, and you give to the beggar. But a man generally will not eat himself, he try to donate it. If he feels that he is hungry, at the time he can eat it. Even though he eat only the nussu. And a nussu he will give the sadaqah. The reason is, you have not end that thing with your own sweat. When you have not end with your own sweat, don't eat. Give the share to somebody else. That is the morality. That is the morality. That is the way of life. So, why I am giving this thing is, you have to lead your life in such a manner also. Everything meza. No. You are not supposed to meza. Yes, I am getting the sound. Do you want to ask anything? You can ask me. I gave you today a total explanation. If any person has made in the PFIRAC model, they can send to me in the email. I make the correction, and that to be, I will call you, and at a time I will fix you. I'll make the correction, and I will say that what are the mistakes that you have committed in particular place, and it will be a good lesson to the other people also, so that other people also could learn it. Instead of teaching everyone one time, better I will keep it on the screen, and I will record it, and so that you could see it also, and you could know where you have committed the mistakes, including the spelling, comma, full stop, because you are writing not with your hand, you are writing with your soft copy in the Word format. When you write in the Word format, I do have the Grammarly, it can make the correction of the grammar also. Then I can know that in which tense that you wrote the entire paragraph. And you are supposed not to write, the first sentence is a simple sentence, and second sentence is the past tense, and the third is again future tense. No. When you write the paragraph, try to see that the entire paragraph in one tense, unless until the demand it needs that you have to put some past and present and some future. So that way also you can make it out, so that I could know it, how far that you have taken the material fact, and what are the issues that you made, and how many cases that you wrote, and how it is supported for each issue in the case. And I want to know it, whether you are supporting it the proper way or not. And I record it, and I will tell you, and I will make it to you, and I will post you in your YouTube, so that it will be a good lesson to each and everybody. Is it clear? Or do you want to ask anything?
Yes.
Yes, please ask. Please ask. You say yes. Sir, I did not ask yes. What is the why? Yeah. Repeat the question. What is given in the party, the same thing should have to be written there. I repeat, what is given in the parties, you have to say, but every time you need not to refer the name. You can say plaintiff also. But you can write plaintiff, so it will be Hawa, herein after plaintiff, within parenthesis. Are you following me? And Ali Saif, then with herein after, defendant, or in this case respondent, because B Hawa is the appellant, so B Hawa within parenthesis hereinafter appellant, and filed a case against the husband Ali Saif within parenthesis hereinafter respondent. Now you need not to repeat it. You can write he, she. You can run the show. Tumia bongo.
Asante sana sikiliza darasa. Mungu akubariki na kukulinda.